Hello everybody, welcome to my new Sunday market breakdown. So we start as usually with the DXY on the daily chart. What can we see still on the DXY on the daily chart, which we saw also previous week, was that we are still bearish because we had here this previous high, low, high, no low. So we have this bearish W that is still in play, and we have now some difficulties to break this highs here because we tapped this highs with a new liquidity wick, new action here, again a new action of these high wicks, and you can see the price is coming down aggressively after tapping that weekly supply and demand zone. So this daily supply and demand zone is also holding the price down. So if I go to the weekly, what can we see on the weekly? For the weekly, we have nothing to go for a short. So we have 3 out of 4 to go for a short because the trend is bullish for me on the weekly. We have this low, we had a new high, we had here some kind of correction. We broke out of it to the upside, and now we are making that shoulder one here, head shoulder two. We took some buyers here from this buying zone, and we went to the upside till that supply and demand zone here. So you can see this was acting as resistance, support when we traded above, support, and now we are acting as resistance. So there is a possibility with the daily chart that we can go back till this weekly buying zone where the weekly buyers also are sitting. This is a potential setup that can play out. So we have nothing to go for a short because the trend is bullish. The candle close is not confirming me, okay, are we going to the downside? But it's still indicating me that there is some big resistance here at this daily supply and demand zone. So there is an indication, possibly, but it's not for us. Then the FIP from this low to this high is against us. Supply and demand zone here is also against us, or you can see this one also for you because with that IC here. So actually, it's possible 1 out of 4 that you can go for the short. So if I go to the daily, what can you see? Again, the daily was clear. We had here impulse to the upside, and now we have some corrective nature. It can possibly be with the trend because we are making here smaller, higher highs. Possibly we can close again above, and then we can go to the downside. So this is possibly an ascending channel against that trend. So that's good. So then on the 4 hour, what can we see? On the 4 hour, it's more clear. On the 4 hour, we have still a bearish trend for me. This was our shoulder one here. So this was our low, higher high, and we broke it here with a new low. So we are bearish. So we made then the shoulder one, head. Then here we touched it, the shoulder two. And you can see the price after that impulse. We are coming correctively to the upside in an ascending channel. And what we have our first touch, second touch, third touch. So mostly of the time we have third touch of an ascending channel, third top. We can see we have an impulse. Potential, this can be a small correction, and then we can have an impulse and break out of it. Um, the thing is also when we touch that uh, third touch of that ascending trend line, you can see we tapped that beginning of correction here. We tapped it here. So actually the move already happened here. So there is still a possibility that we can go up, maybe for taking some new action here from that week. That is possibly happen that we can take new liquidity from that weekly supply and demand zone. But who knows, because the trend is still bearish on the 4 hours, so we'll see what will happen on the 4 hour. So this was clear. Then the trade I'm looking at, Chfjpy, possibly for a long, because if I look on a daily, we have clear impulses and corrections. What we can see here, we had here an impulse, correction, impulse, and then we changed. After an impulse, we received again an impulse with a new high here. So we changed from momentum from bearish momentum to bullish momentum with the impulses. If I only look at impulses, because this was our low, high, new low. So actually we are still bearish, but when we look at impulses, so impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, and now we can see this impulse, so the last impulse, this one was already, yeah, 1 day, and it had that massive candle, and now we are coming back with two candles, and a third candle is forming when the market is opening. So for me, it's a clear trade. We have a bullish M. We can potentially go till this nice supply mantle where we had clear resistance, resistance, support. So if I go back, there's nothing to see. So this is the only zone, recent zone that can hold our price up. So my daily TP would be at round number to the downside 172,000. This would be my daily TP like this. Want to see the price come back to this zone. Then on the weekly, what can we see on the weekly? On the weekly, I can see we are still bearish because we have here a low, a high, a low, a high, and we made a break of that. And we went impulsively again to the upside. So this can be an indication for us. Okay, there are still bulls. Why are we closing above these highs? We are not confirmed closing above this highest wicks because this was the high wick and we didn't close above that. So we took a new action here for potentially coming back to the downside. But we want to see what is happening there because last week we didn't close that as a false break. If we had a break like this to the downside, then it could be a false break. And yeah, the sellers are present. But now there is a possibility that this could be your resistance and it's your support, which is holding it now. So for me, the supply and demand zone is for us. The only thing is, yeah, the trend is against us. The candle close not confirmed yet. It's doji. The fib is against us because this fib is still in play from this high till this low. And the supply and demand zone here is for us for the moment. 1 out of 4. So actually, what I want to see if I have a 1 out of 4. Yeah, I just want to see here on the daily that we come to this daily supply and demand zone, potentially making a fake out, or we can make a new action. So if we have here a fake out or a new action going under this outer structure, then we can make that new action and then we can make a pattern till that previous structure, daily supply and demand zone, or that shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2. We will see what will happen. Because if I look closer on the 4 hour, you can see the trend for me is bullish because we had here our high, low, high, new low, high, new low, and then we made an impulse, we made a new high. So actually, this is our shoulder 1, head, shoulder 2, within that a smaller bullish M aligning with the daily zone of interest, which can hold the price up. And how are we coming to the downside? Correctively? You can see it's correctively, and here we are impulsively going up. So this is already an indication for me that we can go to the upside. So this I could delete. So I want to see the price come back to that daily zone, and then we will see what will happen there if you receive a pattern or not. So then the next one, Eurjpy. Be careful because I have two GPY trades, so you need to be careful with that, which one you will take. So if I go over the daily, what can you see on your GPY? You can see we had here our low. Oh, sorry. We had here our low. I will take the other one. The other one is better. So here are low, high, new, low. So actually we are bearish, but this is a flat wall. So there's nothing that the price can stop except this IC here and this support, which can become resistance here, which there can be some liquidity here sitting for more downside momentum. But we can see if you look at the impulses and corrections, you can see with an impulse, correction, impulse, again impulse, and now we received the correction. So we switch from momentum. The momentum is changing, and then we receive again impulse, correction, impulse, possible correction. We have a nice daily zone here sitting. We have that bullish M. So first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg, coming till this daily zone. And we can see we can potentially trade this. Um, and if I look on the weekly, what can you see on the weekly? We have a 2 out of 4 because the trend is still bullish for me. We have this low wick, we didn't broke that, and then we received the impulse last high. So everything between that is just um, an impulse and correction. But the only thing that is a little bit against us is this um yeah, impulse. We receive a clear impulse and now we receive a correction. So this is already indicating me there can be a potential shoulder one, head and shoulder. So shoulder one, head, shoulder two playing out with that wick that is yeah closing a little bit bearish for me. It's bearish for me actually on this shoulder one zone. So there is a high potential or possibility that this trade yeah does not play out, but we will see what we will receive on this daily zone if you are coming impulsively to the downside or more corrective. That's the thing we need to see for then. So for me the trend is still bullish, then the candle close is bearish, the fib from this high to from this low to this high, which is still bullish, is for me for us. And the supply and demand zone here, this one is against us. So we have 2 out of 4. So actually, it's trade we can take. The supply and demand zone here was against us. So yes, daily was clear on the 4 hour. What can we see on the 4 hour? We can see on the 4 hour a little bit the same as the other Chfjpy pair. We can see we made here a high, low, high, low, high, low. We made a new high impulsive. These are same highs. And now we are coming a little bit more corrective to the downside. You can see impulse correction, impulse correction, impulse potentially. So the trend is for me on the 4 hour also still bullish. So we will see what will happen. Um, then I have also Eurjpy. For me, it's still a waiting game because we have this bearish W here, first leg, second leg. Sorry, this first leg, second leg, third leg, fourth leg that is in play. We can still tap that daily -27, or we can make that same lows, same highs here. Then we have a natural W. So I expect potentially the price to go to the daily highs. Um, or we can go to the daily TP and we have here another bearish W. That's the thing we need to see. So if I go to the weekly, you can see we have still this high and new low impulse correction. We made that yeah, head and shoulders here. Shoulder one, head, shoulder two. We didn't tap it. Yeah, it was really close, but yeah, it's for me and head and shoulders because it was so close at that shoulder one, and we had here also a selling zone here from that shoulder one here, head, shoulder two, and then we went aggressively to the downside still. So for me, 3 out of 4, the trend, the candle close here, this one really bearish, supply and demand zone, sellers, sellers, support, false break, sellers, for us. So we have a 4 out of 4. And on the 4 hour, we can see the price is still making lower lows, lower highs. This was your high, new low here, your high, same low here. So we can see this natural W can still play out. And you can see also that we have here some kind of correction. So we can potentially go to that beginning of correction here, and then we can go back to the downside. Uh, So yeah, that's the trade I'm looking at. And USD CHF for me, Yeah, potential bearish W, but yeah, we still didn't tap this supply momentum, so we'll see what will happen there. It's a big pattern, so yeah, this one needs to have more patience. If I go to the weekly, you can see this can be our support and potential resistance, but we didn't receive resistance yet. So yeah, and here also, if you look back, support, 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 false break, support, potential resistance here. So we'll see what will happen if we touch that. So this is still a waiting game for me. So I hope you like the weekly SMB, my SMB for this week. So I hope you have a nice trading week and see you next week. Bye.